Hidden in some of the paperwork published alongside the budget was news that around 200,000 women could receive payouts averaging £13,500 as a top-up to their state pensions, which were underpaid for as much as 20 years. This compensation cost was hidden in a budget report from the Office of Budget Responsibility. The payouts focus on certain married women, widows and over 80s who should have received automatic cash increases for their state pensions all the way back to 1992. The payouts are likely to cost the Department for Work and Pensions, the DWP, around £2.7 billion. In this video, I'll explain why the underpayments took place and what you might expect to receive as a one-off payment to put this situation right. Hi everyone, I'm Martin Bamford, a chartered financial planner, personal finance YouTuber and money author. On this channel, I talk about personal finance, investing and happiness. I make these videos to help you become wealthier and happier. If that sounds like a great result, click on that little red subscribe button, become part of our subscriber community today. It's completely free and you'll never miss an episode. Whenever we cover a budget, we always say that the devil is in the detail, and it's usually only in the hours and days and even weeks after a budget that further analysis takes place, and a more detailed reading of the announcements allows us to understand some of the nuances and also the really big issues, things that weren't necessarily talked about by the Chancellor in the House of Commons. This announcement that around 200,000 women are in line to receive payouts which averaged £13,500 each, topping up their underpaid state pensions. It's a significant bit of budget news. As I said in the introduction, it's going to cost the Treasury around £2.7 billion, and that is a lot of money. To understand why the DWP is going to be making these compensation payments, we need to go back in time a little, just a bit, to look at how the old state pension worked. This issue applies to women who reached state pension age before the 6th of April 2016. That's what we refer to as the old state pension. The current state pension we refer to as the new state pension, and it's a bit different. But under the old terms, the old state pension terms, there were special provisions for married women. Essentially, married women who had a poor state pension contribution record in their own right could rely on their husband's record of national insurance contributions instead, and they could use this to claim a basic state pension equivalent to 60% of their husband's entitlement. The reason that the DWP is now getting ready to make compensation payments to around 200,000 women is that some of these basic state pensions were not automatically increased at a certain point in time. These underpayments were discovered originally by former Pensions Minister Steve Webb. He writes a weekly pension column for This Is Money and received a reader's question early last year which identified this issue for the first time. A husband wrote into the paper to say that his wife had discovered that she was only getting 39% of his state pension entitlement when she should have been receiving 60%. When she complained to the DWP about this underpayment, she was told they could only backdate the correct amount by 12 months. When Steve Webb looked into this issue, he explained to the reader that married women who had small state pensions in their own name when they became entitled to a state pension before April 2016, they should have received this uplift to 60% of their husband's payments once the husband reached state pension age. That was the trigger. Since 2008, those increases were supposed to be automatic. Before 2008, married women in that situation had to apply to get the full statement, the full state pension benefit, or they could have been underpaid. They had to make a manual application when their husband reached state pension age. So this reader question to This Is Money gave Steve Webb some pause for thought, and he started wondering whether lots of married women could be in the same position as this reader and his wife, given that the claim has to be made prior to 2008 as a manual process. Later in the year, some more readers got in touch to say that they had also missed out on state pension payments. One had missed out on £9,000, another on £5,000. So Steve, along with the journalist from that paper, got in touch with the DWP to find out how these mistakes had happened and also how widespread the error was. They also asked the DWP what steps it was taking to help women who had been underpaid the state pension. Fast forward to the budget yesterday and the publication of this report from the OBR, and we have confirmation that the DWP are working hard to fix this problem of historical underpayments. They said in a statement to the BBC see, the action we are taking now will correct the historical underpayments that have been made by successive governments, and anyone impacted will be contacted by us to ensure they receive all that they are owed. This is going to be a lengthy investigation process. It's not going to happen overnight. The DWP is going to have to go back through hundreds of thousands of cases. Married women who had state pension benefits over the years. Sadly, that's going to include a significant number of people who have since passed away. In a statement, Steve Webb said, "The scale of these underpayments is truly shocking. Whilst it is good that the government is now planning to address this issue, the plan to do so over 5 years is simply not fast enough." It is also quite shocking that DWP plans to stop paying interest on these underpayments. If the government is going to fix these problems, it needs to do so swiftly and fairly. Also yesterday, we learned that the DWP has set up a special unit employing more than 100 civil servants who are going to be investigating this issue and calculating the compensation payouts. So if you feel that you've been in this position where, as a married woman, you're owed money for a state pension underpayment, you need to sit tight for now. Let the DWP carry out their review, crunch the numbers, and then they'll get in touch with a compensation payout offer. Please do keep an eye, though, on the press for updates over the coming months, and maybe pop a note in the calendar to check on this again, say early summer, just in case you've not heard anything from the DWP at that point. If you or a relative were in this situation where you were underpaid your state pension entitlement, let me know about it in the comments down below. It would be really interesting to hear about the scale of this problem. And are you satisfied with the action that the DWP is now taking? Are they moving quickly enough for you? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching this video. Until next time, I'm Martin Bamford, and remember, when it comes to your money, the more you know, the faster it can grow.